What is something you wish you knew when you were 18 years old? That it is important to also ask the questions you do not want to hear the answer to. That it's okay to live the life you want. Seeking approval from lovers, friends, parents or anyone else leads you to having to start over at 30. There is always something to learn after failed relationships. Even if at first it doesn't seem like I did anything wrong, retrospection will reveal my own mistakes and failures. Don't frick up your credit. That crap is difficult to fix and lasts a very long time. Don't smoke. Not smoking is easy. Quitting is difficult. Care for your body now. Protect your joints. Eat well. Sleep. Alcohol in moderation pays off the rest of your life. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't start waking up in pain in your 30s. That's sometimes the way we see people and the way they actually are totally different. It doesn't get easier, you get better. Learn when to give a frick and when not to give a frick. Think how things will affect others and put yourself in their shoes. Think how things that get you mad will affect you in 5 years and see if it is worth it being angry. Brush your teeth and floss. Dentist visits are expensive. That I would make mistakes and that is okay. Life is about learning. Just because you finally can eat candy for breakfast, lunch and dinner doesn't mean you should. That emotions are meant to be felt, and it's okay to have them instead of keep suppressing it. And that it's easier to be honest in the long run rather than lying, even if it seems easier at the time. That I should have started saving money ASAP. When your girlfriend complains to you about her crappy day, she doesn't expect you to jump in and fix all her problems and be her knight in shining armor. She just wants to vent. All you need to do is listen. Whatever negative stigma you had in high school, nerd, weird kid, etc., doesn't matter anymore in the real world. Once you graduated high school you basically got a fresh start. Took me until I was 22 and moved away from my hometown to figure that one out. Sure, they'll give me dirty looks and have the urge to bully me when I come back. Have family in the area, and yes, it has sadly happened several times. But instead of putting my head down in fear, I now hold my head high and can't help but feel pity for these souls for not moving on with their lives. No form of birth control is truly 100% effective. In terms of achieving your goals, discipline, motivation, talent. When you break up, your friends will tell you that you were doing your best and she was the worst. Your friends are idiots. Actually take the time to self-reflect, and it will spare you a lot of time in your 20s making the same damn mistake. Develop good habits now. Learning to drink more water and less soda, and making the gym part of your routine is a lot easier when you're 10 pounds overweight than 50 pounds overweight and have a 30-plus-year-old's metabolism. Don't feel so desperate to get your life started. Not applicable to everyone, but I washed out of everything college, the Marines, a union factory job, because all I thought about was how to be an adult. When I got a job that was part-time and kind of low paying, I finally excelled to a point where I became a manager and started actually building experience that lead to my real career. You're not as smart as you think you are. Also, you don't care about money only because your parents paid for everything. And once you have to pay for everything yourself, you realize how much a few bucks squandered is going to hurt you until your next paycheck. Also, you're better looking than you think you are. Own it, and don't get down on yourself because a girl isn't into you. How to make $1 million by 19 years old. That she didn't give you her number for you to send her memes. You dumbass. It was just her excuse. She's interested in you. Without relevant internship experience, it feels damn near impossible to get a job. Also, I wish I'd known that I was going to burn out and not finish a PhD as I thought I would at 18. That sex doesn't have to hurt, nor do you have to bleed everywhere. Don't take that freaking needle, just walk away. That joining the infantry in a time of war is not the wisest thing to do. Don't stick your peen in crazy. If you don't have a very in-demand major like nursing, can't see, or accounting, get an internship with related work experience and build contacts that will land you jobs in the future. That the people you love will not be here forever. Show them and tell them that you love them and spend time with them now because they will be gone before you know it. I feel like once you turn 18 time starts moving really fast. How to figure out your girlfriend is a cult leader before you move in with her. I'm 18 right now. I wish I knew how to keep up friendships, especially now that we are all moving across the country to go to different universities. Nearly all of the cool things you think you are saying/doing right now are almost definitely not cool. That buying a new dress for town every weekend is just ridiculous. Save more money and also go travel. You won't get to till much later now. No matter how much you think you love someone, never get a joint checking account. That everyone won't like you. That the apathy and lack of focus I was feeling weren't normal 9 years later, and the mental health issues I didn't recognize for what they were have ruined my life. That it's okay to have problems, and that it's okay to talk about them. 18 years old was when I found out that I had bipolar. Second, I didn't do anything with the information, had no idea what that meant, and I was terrified of the stigma associated with mental health problems. It's one of the few things you can be born with and get yelled at for having. I existed aloofly for the next 2.5 years by wasting my existence, using substances to cope, isolating myself, worrying my family, and what few friends I had towards the end. In those 2.5 years I couldn't realize that I was destroying my own life. It was only after I shattered past rock bottom, which is really deep BTW, scuba gear recommended for this, that I knew something was wrong with me and that I had to fix it. To clarify, I do wish I knew then that there is no honor in enduring, and that there is nothing wrong with fixing one's own problems. However, I favor who I'm currently Marizo than whoever I could've been if I had this foreknowledge at 18. Overall, I'm making this post because I don't want anyone to find out the same way I did, nor put off these questions and conversations regarding one's existence and health. If something feels wrong, speak up. If a sudden moment of clarity causes you anxiety when self-reflecting, ask questions. Don't suffer alone. Don't worry about anyone's opinion on this besides your own. And always better yourself. Set achievable goals and push through to achieve them. Start small and reiterate. You don't have to love your toxic family members, or even have them in your life. The miracle of compound interest. That not everyone does it, and being unproductive is a really crappy thing to have to undo. How money actually works. I'm 37 and only really learning this lesson now. Hey 18-year-olds, don't spend any more than $1,000 on a wedding. Buy as much property you can get ownership of, and make money work for you. Don't work for money, make money work for you. I'm not saying all 18-year-olds should get married, but most 18-year-olds are unmarried. At some point in their future they may think about a wedding, unless you're Harry freaking Windsor. No one gives a frick what flowers you had, or what was served at dinner. Also property ownership. I know that few, if any, 18-year-olds can rush out and buy a property. But my point was to learn now, at 18, how money works. Hell, learn what money actually is. Read some books on money and investments. Libraries carry these types of books and they are free. Learn other skills like time management. Learn when to party and when to tell the time wasters in your life to frick off. Don't try heroin. Don't worry about what other people think. They aren't thinking about you. That you have to learn to love yourself with all of your flaws. And to go along with that, don't let the opinions of people you don't trust dictate how you live your life. Everyone is sexy in this age. If your family is toxic, run like hell. College is your best chance of escape from poverty or a terrible family. Saying no is okay. There are some crappy things in life that you can't change. It's okay. Accept it and move on. 1. Don't give my car to friends. 2. Take care of your car. 3. Take care of your money. It doesn't get better. Girls have equal sex cravers equal as boys do. How much I was going to miss my parents when they were gone, and to appreciate them more. How to admit weakness in all sorts of ways, especially admitting when I didn't know something. I built up such a strong veneer of being smart and knowing what was going on, even when I didn't. It led to not learning how things worked, how to do things, etc. And then also in relationships, admitting to being awkward or anxious or sad or scared so that other people could help me, and I could form deeper relationships with them. Internalizing the stoic male persona and projecting it externally may have avoided mocking from family and others, but it stunted me in my growth. Slowly changing this over my late 20s/early 30s has left me far happier, healthier, and more successful on all fronts in my life, career, relationships, family, etc. How to eat properly. By 19 I was 320 lbs. I'm almost 28 and just this year got down to 210. Go with your gut. Value your own opinions more and others less. Also, you're going to die sooner than you think, so start doing stuff. Live your life like Bob Ross is watching. He still loves those with faults, but he'll be disappointed if you're ever too mean. I'd tell 18-year-old me that the voice of anxiety in the back of your head is an asshole, and that you don't actually have to listen to it. Would have saved me from a crap time in my 20s. Proper cunnilingus. Don't mess around with drugs. You might think that you can handle it. You can't. Wear sunscreen. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind. You will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they've faded. But trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fat as you imagine. Don't worry about the future, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubble gum. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never crossed your worried mind. The kind that blindside you at 4 p.m. on St. Michael Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you. Sing. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts. Don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Floss. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead. Sometimes you're behind. The race is long and, in the end, it's only with yourself. Remember compliments you receive. Forget the insults. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. Keep your old love letters. Throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Get plenty of calcium. Be kind to your knees. You'll miss them when they're gone. Maybe you'll marry. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much, or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it, or of what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but your living room. Read the directions. Even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your past and the people most likely to stick with you in the future. Understand that friends come and go, but with a precious few you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle, because the older you get, the more you need the people who knew you when you were young. Live in New York City once, but leave before it makes you hard. Live in Northern California once, but leave before it makes you soft. Travel. Accept certain unalienable truths. Prices will rise. Politicians will philander. You, too, will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that, when you were young, prices were reasonable. Politicians were noble and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund. Maybe you'll have a wealthy spouse. But you never know when either one might run out. Don't mess too much with your hair, or by the time you're 40 it will look 85. Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me on the sunscreen. People cheat and it hurts. Life isn't going to fix itself. Getting a job is not choosing a class in an RPG game. You actually have to fight towards stuff if you want to do something better than moving boxes from one place to another. Also, that moving abroad is not a success itself, no matter how cool it sounds. As with everything, you actually need to have a plan, even better with few of them. That getting laid is overrated and self-improvement is more important. It's easier to take decent care of your body than it is to try and undo all the crap to it. At 18 I told myself that I was in the prime time of my life, so I couldn't afford to waste time and energy to do things like lose weight, get braces, and making other such drastic changes to my life. 18 isn't the prime of your life at all. You'd rather look like a nerd with braces at 18 than in your 20s. Don't be afraid to go out and do things by yourself. You don't need friends to join you in every activity. That blackout drinking is not normal or funny. That it is okay to fail, as long as you learn from your mistake. There are other ways to get to where you want to be. Brushing and flossing daily and routine dentist visits for cleaning every 6 months will save you a lot of money and pain down the road. How to dress/appear well for occasions. This would have saved me so many times. There's no need to fap 4 times a day. Wealth is built in only 4 ways: real estate, stocks, equity in a small business, or marriage. You can become upper middle class through education, that is, engineer, doctor, but you will not become wealthy that way. If you want to generate wealth you should do one of those 4, or marry someone who has. How to not be awkward around women. That pee is stored in the balls. Every girl I'm going to meet for the next 5 years won't matter, so try to just relax and enjoy life. Keep an eye out in 6 years, because that one will matter. It doesn't get better with time. If anything, it gets worse. A loving relationship is not something that happens when you stop looking for it, contrary to what a lot of people tell you. The lottery numbers for when I was 19 years old. That you'll make new friends. It's okay to go abroad for cheap university and avoid mountains of debt at 30. Make decisions for the future you, not current you. Friends will come and go. Don't get hung up on losing a friend. You'll have plenty of time to building lifelong friendships. The economy will end in 1 year. Being a bad communicator isn't cute, funny, or a quality of an introvert's. It's just crappy. Treat your friends and family with respect. Girls are human beings just like you. If you don't put them on a pedestal, then eventually you will meet the right one. Also, you will meet one. The sea is indeed full of fish. You and the 18-year-old men you are interested in absolute idiots. Wait to date until you're 25. 1. Go to parties and socialize more. Making friends is different when you're an adult, and socialization skills are more important than you'd expect in professional life. 2. Go hard for summer jobs and start saving money now. Set yourself up right for life. 3. Don't be a teacher. Your future is in graphic design, so don't waste 2 years pursuing that degree. No one actually has their crap together. We're all just doing our best to fake it. Stop pretending you're cool. That my kid's father would turn out to be a deadbeat piece of crap. Giving my children a piece of crap for a parent is a terrible feeling I don't think will ever go away. I blame myself for giving my kid such a terrible father, and wish I knew then what I know now. Knew I was going to do game dev once I left university. Should have done a course in game dev instead of Comp C. Pretty much a waste of 3 years. Sure, I learned some things I wouldn't have doing pure game dev, but most of it was useless for what I'm doing right now. If and when I do need the things I learned Comp C, I'm sure some of the stuff I learned would be out of date, machine learning etc. And I could have just looked up it online or taken a course. That it's okay to walk away from toxic family. Family is a term used to describe those who share genetics, but it does not mean you are obligated to keep them in your life. Everything is going to be okay. It really does all work its way out eventually. You have to actively participate in whatever change comes your way, but it's going to be fine. Ridiculous, right? Nope. Abortion at 17. Breaks your heart? At some point, you'll be comfortable with the decision you felt you had to make. It's going to be okay. Drop out of college at 19. Because you can't figure out what you want to be when you grow up. You'll find your path at some point and have a career that makes you happy. It's going to be okay. Get married at 21 and realize that this isn't the right person for you. It might feel like failure at the time, but you can find someone who treats you right. It's going to be okay. Mom dies suddenly when you are 29. Freshly divorced and figuring out how to deal with life as a single mom of 2 little kids. That's a tough one. Especially when you think you can't function without her, and the only option is to join her. But you realize you can't do that to your kids and you tough it out. It's going to be okay. At mom's funeral dad says, "I'll be with you soon." As we close the casket and you think, what he frick dude, until less than a year later you are standing at the same funeral home, in the same suit, closing your dad's casket. It's going to be okay. Find out you have the same type of heart disease your mom died of, and the only way to survive is undergo open heart surgery. It's cool. You have a good story to tell about how you spent your 40th birthday and become a volunteer to help other women in your situation. It's going to be okay. Get remarried to someone who makes your heart happy. Have another kid. Turns out his social cocaine use is hardcore and he dies and leaving you alone with 2 kids in college and an 8-year-old. Frick, this one is hard. Go ahead. Rebuild your life around what's best for you and your kids. Get married again. Buy a house together and kick some ass. It's going to be okay. I think back to the things in my life that were monumentally terrible. I didn't think I could survive them, let only thrive past it, but it'll really be okay. Not always great, not always fantastic, but you can do it. Wish I enjoyed myself more and not worry so much. Never stop moving. Never stop learning. Don't waste your time. Sitting around doing nothing sounds great, but you look back at wasted years and wish you had more to show for it. Live.